a player, you know what to do, you know what to do for them, you know, in terms of their best interest. You've been through this. Even Katie mentioned it today that, you know, he gave us an extra day. How much do you always, you know, go back and think, okay, this is what I was going through, and every day probably?
Yeah, I think about it all the time. And sometimes I ask Willie, because Willie, you know, just got out of the league 2 years ago. It's been a while for me, so Willie is a recent player, but sometimes I'll ask him, you know, what do you think? Are we, you know, were we just tired tonight from the grind of the season, or do we need to address something? And Willie always has great advice based on his own playing experience. But it really does help. It's not a requirement, obviously, but it does help to have played and to have been in their shoes. And the All-Star break, to be in New Orleans and to see what the 4 All-Stars had to go through on the weekend, there's no rest at all. You're going from one media session to the next community service event to practice to a game, and so it's all about finding a little bit of relaxation and rest for them. And one day of practice, they were way better served going off somewhere and relaxing than coming in and shooting. They're going to get plenty of practice here the next few months.
Steve, Kevin talked today about wanting to be a GM